Hey everyone, this is Jacqueline Lukeman, and I am one of the editors of Real Progressives on Facebook. And I wanted to talk to you today about an issue that it seems that progressives sometimes have a really difficult time talking about. And don't worry, I'm not driving, I'm a passenger. But I wanted to talk to you real quick about something that we really need to focus on as progressives in this election cycle, as we're trying to get Bernie Sanders into the Oval Office, but also in focusing on what we're going to do about this issue beyond November, and that is the issue of racial justice from a progressive lens. Now, why is this something that we have to focus specifically on? Well, because this seems to be kind of a touchy subject for a lot of progressives to deal with, and I can understand why it is. It's not easy to talk about, but seriously, we've seen that both parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, have completely and utterly failed in enacting meaningful, lasting racial justice policies that affect people's everyday lives. And we have seen that that's true, especially in the past few years with all of the videos that have surfaced regarding involving police abuse. But if you've dug deeper into any of those stories, you might have also seen the bigger system of systematic racism and institutionalized racism at play, where you have people who are basically sequestered into low-income neighborhoods, and they are experiencing employment discrimination because of bogus arrest charges where they've never been convicted of a crime, but they were arrested, and that shows up on their record, and then they can't get a job, and they can't get a job, so they can't make any money. They can't make any money, so they can't find a decent place to live. They can't find a decent place to live because they can't get a job, and they're stuck in this low-income, crime-ridden neighborhood that they want to get out of, but they can't. And there are all these barriers in place that keep them from the opportunity that a lot of people, especially young black men and women, are trying to achieve. So as progressives, we have to think about what we are going to do specifically to address these issues. We like to focus on income inequality, and that is very, very important. Making sure that people who work an honest day's work are paid an honest day's wage, and a living wage is extremely important for everyone. But when we live in a country where black wealth has grown less than 1% since the end of slavery, when we live in a country where black women still make less money than even white women, and even as white women make less money than white men, when we live in a country where the accumulated black household income is $5,000 compared to 4 or 5 times as much for your average white family, when we live in a country where even a black person with a college degree is twice as likely to be unemployed as a white person with the same level of education. Even further, a black person with a college degree is just as likely to be called back for a job as a white person with a criminal record. It's pretty clear that income equality is not going to address those specific issues. Those are issues of racial injustice, and they have to be addressed in ways that are outside of the income inequality issue and the corruption in politics issue, although that's a part of it, and the other issues that we are focusing on in this campaign. So as an African American woman who has been fighting to educate people and make people aware of this system for so long, I'm so happy for Bernie Sanders to come along and be the voice of, I don't know, I hesitate to say a generation, but to be the voice of oppressed and angry people who've always known that this system has been set up to crush us all. It's just been practicing on some of us for a lot longer. We have to fight this thing together. And we cannot do that by ignoring an issue that's uncomfortable for some of us, which is the racial justice aspect of it, and focus only on income inequality. We have to put a laser focus on racial justice in order to create that level playing field, or even to take a step toward it, because we can do it. I don't believe it is impossible. I just believe that we live in a system that has made it unprofitable for that to happen. So we want to take the money out of inequality and racial injustice, and we can only do that by fighting this system together. So I applaud Cornel West being on the panel at the Democratic National Committee chair, because we absolutely need Black intelligentsia and Black leaders to hold politicians accountable in ways that we have not had in our community in the past from some of our own leaders. So I've talked enough. I'm certainly going to be coming back to you again with some more thoughts on this issue. But this is a conversation we must have, and I'm really excited to be doing it with you guys. So keep up the fight. Do not be discouraged. We are just at the precipice of an amazing victory, whether it's in November, whether it's in Philadelphia, whether it's in November, or whether it's in transforming this country for the better for all of us. Don't give up, because I'm certainly not going to. Thanks.